Good morning, Raider Nation. Now that the NFL regular season schedule has officially been released, this morning we'll discuss each head-to-head matchup and predict the outcomes. The Raiders begin the season on the road for the first 2 weeks before hosting the Carolina Panthers in the home opener at Allegiant Stadium in Week 3. The Raiders face off in the NFL's Black Friday game on November 29th when they travel to Arrowhead Stadium to take off the rival Chiefs. Also, the Raiders will face former Raiders quarterback Derek Carr in the last game of the season for a showdown Week 17 in New Orleans against the Saints. Thank you for joining us, Raider Nation. We are going to break down week by week and predict each game week by week. Remember, if you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and become a member if you'd like to support the channel in that way as well. I'd like to bring on my guests for this morning's show. Scotty Waddy, Raider One, what's good?
What's up?
And Jerry from Arizona Raider Nation, and we have Mother Moon behind the scenes who's going to be keeping tally for us.
Let's go.
What's up, guys?
Good morning.
Happy to be here with you guys.
Absolutely. Good morning.
The wait has been over since Wednesday. We've been waiting, and now we can sit back and predict what we think the Raiders are going to do, which is always a fun show. We do this. I think we do this annually. Jerry, you were with us last. Were you both with us? I know, Jerry, you were with us last year. You've been with us
2 years.
Yeah,
2 years.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. Let's get right into it because we have a lot to talk about. Really quickly, I want to say what's up to the chat. Raider Ryan, what's good? Mama, thanks for joining. Good morning, beautiful, spicy, and nation. Good morning to you as well. Yo, salute to you, nation. Rap in the building. What's good? Okay, let's see. Let's get right into it. Week 1 against the Chargers at Allegiant Stadium. I mean, SoFi, same difference, right?
Same difference.
That was nice of you to say that.
I could tell.
I really did. But so week 1 against the Chargers. So I think they are going to give Harbaugh. I think they're already they are already giving Harbaugh a bit too much early success without having done anything in his return to the NFL. And they are also assuming the quarterback position is unmatched between Justin Herbert and either Minshew or AOC. So, and Justin Herbert really hasn't proven to do too much at this point. So we kind of have, this quarterback still saga going on. They're already writing our quarterbacks off. But I think the Raiders go into SoFi week 1 and walk out of there with a season-opening victory. Scotty, what do you think?
Yeah, victory for sure. We're going to be Raider Nation is hyped up. Definitely a win in LA for us. The Chargers, they had a good draft. However, they lost Mike Williams. They lost Austin Eckler. They lost Keenan Allen. It's going to be a different offense for Herbert. Harbaugh is coming back, trying to do whatever he wants to do. No, I think we're gonna win this.
All right, Jerry.
Absolutely. I'm with you guys here. We start off the season 1-0, a much hyped season, a much anticipated season that we're getting ourselves into here. And what better way to start it off in our second home in LA against the Chargers. And here's one thing too. I mean, people say, the past is the past. You don't think about last year. Bullshit. They're going to have that 60-point hangover, and we're coming.
Yeah.
I agree. So we all have the Raiders opening the season with the win on the road. Now, after we face one Harbaugh brother, we fly across the country to face another Harbaugh brother in another AFC team. I think this is a rough opening 2 weeks because even though I think the Raiders win in week 1, I don't necessarily think that win will come easily. And starting the season against two tough AFC opponents, including the Ravens here, flying all the way across country. Oh, I think it's going to be tough. The Ravens have defending MVP Lamar Jackson, and they've signed running back Derrick Henry in free agency. You know, Baltimore should be able to control the clock. I think they're going to control the run game, both with Lamar Jackson and with Henry. And I think they're going to control the passing game as well. I don't see the Raiders beating the Ravens, so I have the Raiders losing this game. Scotty?
You know, the Ravens did some stuff in the draft to improve the secondary. I think it's going to be easy for Brock Bowers to come and shine in that game. Lamar Jackson can be Lamar Jackson, but he's Lamar Jackson, but he's just Lamar Jackson at the same time. He can go either way. I still think that's a win for us.
Okay. Jerry?
Well, no, hey, I mean, I love it, Scotty, but man, I can't do it. It's Lamar Jackson, it's Baltimore, it's Harbaugh. You know, I think the Ravens are going to come back with vengeance this year as well. I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, they were almost about to win it all that last year. Besides that playoff victory, I think we definitely take a loss here.
Yeah, let's see what some of the chat is saying. We don't want to forget about you. Let us know what you think as we kind of go along here. And going back to week 1, Anthony says, I'm sick of the massive hype the Chargers get. That is true. They always seem to be like some sort of elite team in the AFC, or the fans or people tend to think they are, which I think they're honestly, I think the Raiders and the Chargers are kind of evenly matched. All right, 77 or 17-0. If you say so. I thought that was.
Is that Omar?
No, yeah, or Travis, right? Unfazed, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. DB winning out the AFC West, 6 wins right there. All right, let's see how that goes. Raider Paul, what's good? Thank you for joining us. All right, let's go into week 3 here. The Raiders come home for their home opener in week 3 against the Carolina Panthers. Okay. After a tough 2 weeks against 2 AFC opponents, like I said, I think they're going to be 1-1 at this point. But the Raiders, I think, cruise to victory in this home opener. If you will be in the building, hopefully this will be a fun game from top to bottom and something to celebrate with lots of run scores and some massive defensive plays, because I think they just bulldoze through the Panthers, and they should bulldoze through the Panthers because they finished with the worst record in the league last season. I mean, come on, we got to bulldoze these. I don't even want this to be close. Let's make a statement. And this is not only a must win for the Raiders, I think this needs to be a dominant win for the Raiders. I have them winning this game. Scotty?
Definitely a win. And I think bulldoze through them is about as appropriate as possible. First home game. Raider Nation is going to be out there. We're going to be rolling super deep on that. I doubt Carolina is going to try to come over and take over our stadium. Bryce Young, he's got a long way to go. To be honest with you, I don't really even know that many people on their team. We're going to kill him. We're going to kill him.
What did they have, 2 wins last season? Was it 2 wins?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Jerry?
No, I completely agree. But I think this game would also be definitely, it's going to be hyped up. Raider Nation. I mean, I looked on Ticketmaster, and I mean, lower bowls going for $700-800 right now. Of course, it's early on Ticketmaster, but still, prices are high. I mean, but I think this is also going to be a good game for us to show whoever our quarterback may be, AOC or Minshew. I think it'll be good for them to actually settle down. This defense that the Panthers have is basically unknown. So we're definitely going to run the ball, but I want to see our quarterback really, whoever that may be, break out here and get us that dub.
You know, Jerry, I think you make a great point on that. Let's assume, I think the worst we might be at the Carolina game is 1-1. And this is going to, it's home. That quarterback, whoever it may be, that's.
Yep, definitely. What's good, Chris, for Raiders? Good Sunday morning, Raider family. Good Sunday morning to you as well. Thanks for joining us. We are just cruising along here. We go to week 4 against the Browns. Woo! So the Browns finished with an 11-6 record. Cleveland's defense was arguably the best in the NFL last season, and they are at home with the dog pound in full effect. I don't think the Raiders are going to pull this one out. I think they start the season 2-2. Scotty?
Oh, I'm surprised you said that. Okay. All right. Okay. The Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. We don't know who their quarterback is. They don't know who their quarterback is. They improved at wide receiver at the wide receiver spot. I don't see how we can lose this. Cleveland plays us tough, but I don't see how we can lose. I don't see how we can lose this one.
Okay. Jerry?
I agree. I mean, for me, it's like, who are we? We're the Raiders. How do we play? We play on emotion. They've already set the tone how we're going to play, aggressive, violent within the rules. This is a revenge game for Max Crosby, I think. Max goes off this game because, losing that defensive player of the year to the other guy, not even worth mentioning. I think we're going to definitely get the dub here, and Max is going to blow them up.
I hope so. That's what I look forward to that every week. I look forward to that more than the offense, to be honest. I'm excited. I'm more excited when the Raiders are on defense, which is probably rare. I think most people are excited to see offense, but I hope you guys are right with that one. Anthony says 9-8 floor, 11-6 ceiling. All right, fair enough. Well, we'll see where we end up at the end of this. Let's see where we are. Mother Mill, where are we right now?
Well, we have we're ahead at 6, 7, 8, 9 wins and only 3 losses on your guys' vote.
All right. Let's see. Chris says Raiders starting 3-1 with a close loss to the Ravens. All right. So I have the Raiders at 2-2 coming out of week 4. Week 5 against the Broncos. All right, I'm just gonna say I'm writing off the Broncos this season. I hope the Raiders don't write them off because that's how losses can happen. We saw when the Chiefs wrote the Raiders off last season. We saw what happened. But I'm writing them off. I'm looking forward to Mad Max and company having their way with Bo Nix, the rookie. We're assuming he will be the starting quarterback. So I think the Raiders walk away with this one with a win. Scotty?
It's a win. Now you can say we got the Broncos number. It's 8 in a row. Sean Payton, he's coming in with a new quarterback. I just don't. I can't see it. We're going to continue the trend of beating the Broncos.
Absolutely.
Jerry?
I agree. I'm considering this one. I need to make a decision here quickly of traveling to this game. But obviously it's a win. Broncos, who cares? Well, I think by this time around the season, we just came off a tough game against Cleveland, which we'll win. And then I say we go 2-0 in the division to start it off.
All right. Let's go over to week 6 versus the Steelers. All right. I think this one can go either way. I think it's likely going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be just a defensive head-to-head matchup. I just hope the offense can pull their weight to get some points. We've seen it before where the defense has really stepped up and the offense hasn't really been able to, but the Raiders are stacked, I think, with weapons. So, even though it's going to be a defensive battle, we really need Minshew or AOC to come through and get the ball in the hands of this kind of newly stacked offensive weapons that we have here. I think it's going to be a tough one. I really do. But in the end, I'm going to give it to the Raiders only because they're the home team, although I think it's going to be heavily favored in the stands with Steelers fans. They travel very, very well. I think it's going to be a tough one. But I'm going to go ahead and lean towards the Raiders. Scotty?
Yeah, this is a toss game. The Steelers always play us tough. They're coming in. We don't know who's Russell Wilson going to be their quarterback. This is a tough game. It might be our first loss. It's one of those games that it's gonna be rough. It's not a walk for sure.
So what do we have?
I'll leave it in the loss column.
You're gonna give it a loss, okay?
So what do you have them at this point, Scotty?
I have them winning every game but that one.
Yeah, 5-1.
5-1. Wow. Okay. Jerry?
I like it. It's tough, like you guys both mentioned, but I think most importantly too is this is really going to gauge who we are as a team. Um, just week 6 in the season, enough games have gone by that we can definitely say who we are. Are we a defensive team, a running team, an all-around team? I see us taking this loss, and I hate to say, if it's close, a 1.2 point game, whatever, 2021. I hate saying, oh, but we hung in there with them. I just think that, I just think that we're going to take this loss, but it's really going to gauge. We're going to see who we are going into this game, after this game.
Yeah, okay. Jax, thanks for joining us. She says, we always looked good, on paper. I'm hoping with AP we can do it this year. Define what it is. What is it? Obviously, we want to win, but what is it exactly? Chris for Raiders. Raiders should have won more games last season, but now we a different animal. Everybody on the team has bought in. That is a good point. I like that. I like that everyone on the team has bought in, and I agree with you. Anthony agrees with you as well. So we'll see. We'll see if that translates on the field. As Jack says, it all looks good on paper, right? It does every season. So let's move on here. We're going into week 7 against the Rams. Okay, now this is where, for me, I have them at 4-2 going into this, and I really hope that is the case, at least in the win column, because this is going to be the toughest stretch. Week 7 Rams, week 8 Chiefs, week 9 Bengals. Okay, that's a tough stretch right there. So I think the Raiders need to come into this with some momentum, with the winning record, to get through this grueling, hard part of the schedule. But week 7 against the Rams, some might say this is a home game, but I think it'll be a split fan base for the Raiders. I think the real quote unquote home game, or the Raiders will take over more for the Chargers game week 1. Of course, LA is full of Raiders fans. I think there will be a lot of Raiders fans in the stands, but the Rams have a bigger supporting than the Chargers do. I've been to Rams games before against the Raiders at SoFi. It's really not as overwhelming Raiders fans, I think, as we would like to think. So I don't think the home field advantage thing for the Raiders here really takes place as much as it does when they play the Chargers. But look, Stafford and McVay I think they're what they have going on over there is too much to overcome. Going into week 7, injuries here and there. So we're gonna base all of these, I guess, off both teams being healthy, just the entire season prediction. But I have the Raiders coming out of this one with a loss. I have them at 4-3 at this point. Scotty?
I think we might take a loss on this one too. I agree with your point that the stadium is going to be split. The Rams are tough. They're a tough team. They're going to play us hard. It's going to be difficult to overcome. I think we're taking 2 losses in a row there.
It's a loss.
Jerry?
Yeah, this one's a tough one. Yeah, McVay, Stafford. The Rams did lose Aaron Donald. Who knows how that's going to affect their team? But I think that the Rams and McVay, he's not going to let them have 2 disappointing seasons in a row. They're definitely going to surprise some people this year and get back on track. It's tough. I'm going to go with the loss too, just because we're just coming off of that game with the Steelers. I think that's going to be an emotional, physical game, and then having to travel, not really that far, but to go to LA and then play the Rams, I think it just might be a loss for us.
Oh.
All right.
So you and Jerry are pretty much, you are tied. 4-3. Yeah, 4-3 as well.
4-3. Okay. I think we had a couple games split there, but all right, about the same record.
Yeah.
All right, week 8 against, of course, the rival Chiefs. The Raiders always play the Chiefs tough, and it's always a battle. But, I'm just going to go ahead and put some positive vibes out there, and I will say the Raiders will finally get their first win against the Chiefs at Allegiant Stadium.
I like the way that sounds.
All right. Scotty? Scotty might be frozen for the minute. Jerry, we'll pop over to you and we'll circle back.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's the Chiefs, right? Super Bowl champions. We got Mahomes. We got Travis Kelce. We got, their entire squad. I mean, they're the champs. And if you guys, I know we all watch The Rush, and even Max says it. It's like we got to go through them until we beat them and dethrone them. We can't talk. But
Right.
we're really defensively heavy. We've been talking a lot about our defense, but I mean, who knows how our offense is going to show up this year, and how we've been showing off our fancy pick on Bowers. I think Bowers versus Kelsey here. Maybe we game plan a little bit, and let's get that W against the freaking Super Bowl champs at home.
That would be
Okay.
nice. Scotty?
I had us going 2 losses before this. Well, we go back to Allegiant. It is everybody's talking about the Saints game. No. This is a revenge game here. We want to beat them at Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah.
I think we're good enough to beat them at Allegiant. I'm calling this one a win at home.
All right. And we won't spend too much time on this, but I just want to ask you guys, do you think in the player's mindset, not the fans, 2 different sets of emotions here, in the player's mindset, do you think the fact that the Chiefs won in Allegiant Stadium has anything will weigh any sort of weight on the Raiders to want to come out a little bit extra?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a Super Bowl champs rival.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, everything says that we're going to come out extra hyped. And again, like I said, I have us losing possibly those 2 games before that. So to go back home, yeah, they're going to be on something.
All right.
Yeah, and I just don't want the Chiefs to come in with their fans thinking they own the house.
Well,
That's going to be trouble. I know. That's what I'm saying.
We have to sort of try to change
Yeah.
the narrative there. They
Definitely.
already coined the term of what the stadium's called.
Yeah.
So, Chris says after that CBS Sports prediction of 7-10, they will have a chip on their shoulder. They should have a chip on their shoulder. That's worse than last season. So, if I'm a player and I see that these guys are predicting that we're going to do worse, that certainly is going to motivate me to prove them wrong. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm kind of a betting man, and I check FanDuel daily, and they have us at 6.5. Last year, I would have said that's disrespectful. This year, I kind of understand it because of the quarterback situation. We don't know yet. We don't know how the offense is going to look. Even though we have these great weapons, they're basing it off the quarterback. So the line is 6.5 games. It is disrespectful, but I understand it.
Yeah, I understand it too. And speaking of quarterback, from what I've read anyway, they're basing it off of Minshew being the quarterback from some of the reports that I've read. So there's that there as well.
Gotcha.
Raider Travis, thanks for joining us. Good afternoon. Jax, preach girl. As far as the fan base, I want to see more black in the stadium. I want to see more Raiders fans in the stadium because everybody be wearing black these days. You know what I'm saying? Week 9 against the Bengals. Okay. Woo. I'm getting exhausted just talking about it. Imagine how their bodies are feeling right about now. After a grueling, emotional, and physical division matchup with the Chiefs, the Raiders travel to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. All right. I have to say, I think it's going to be hard for me to say that the Raiders are going to be able to fly over there in their territory. Again, we're assuming everybody's healthy. We're assuming their quarterback's healthy. I think I just don't see them taking the win on this one. So I have the Raiders losing this one, putting them to 5-4 at this point. Scotty?
Tough game. It's very winnable, but it's also very losable. I think this is kind of a toss-up. I don't think Cincinnati is the team that they have been. You do have a great quarterback, don't get me wrong. It's a toss-up. I'll leave it in the loss column just because we're away. But I think it can be. I think it's going to be close. But we might take an L on that one.
All right, Jerry?
No, you guys have valid points. I get it. But, I mean, let's think about Cincinnati for a quick second. Who have they been the last 2 years? Very volatile, very injury-prone. I know we're thinking no injuries here, but Burrow when he's in there. He's a great quarterback. But I think he has, he gets injured way too much. Who knows if he'll be playing. Jamar Chase, always complaining about not getting the ball, but what wide receiver it isn't. I just think there's a lot of internal things going on there. I don't think they're going to be that good this year either. Let's travel. Let's prove that we can win on the road and get this win. I see it as a W.
Ooh,
All right, there we go. I like it, Jerry.
I like
Let's
it.
see. Let's hope it is. Chris says, "What QB situation?" Wow, you guys must have watched last year. Must have watched. Maybe we didn't watch last year. Is what that means? Not sure. AFC did what he was told to do with the watered down offense play calling. All right, fair enough. We're not. I don't think anybody said anything for or against AFC or Minshew. Clearly, we were just trying to say what the where the odds were coming from, and we think that the odds they're taking into account the quarterback situation. So that's all we were saying there. No hate side or quarterback. We wish them the best of luck, and we just want to see W's.
Now, as
I'll take either.
we go on down the road, we have Scotty and Jerry now at 6-3.
6-3. Okay. What I forgot what I was.
5-4. You're 5-4.
All right. Travis, thanks for always listening, even on the road. We appreciate you. What's up, Raider Moore? Bengals got worse and the Raiders got better. That's a win. All right. He agrees with you, Jerry. I like it. All right.
And I get that point, and that's why I said it's winnable, but it's also losable. It's tough. We're away. I can see it going either way, but
All right. While we're in bye week, let's take a minute to talk about some of the schedule, I should say, notable things here. Season 10 is a bye week. I think this is the perfect time for a bye week. I mean, the Raiders just get through their toughest part of the schedule of this season after that 3-week stretch. I think in years past, the bye week has been somewhat questionable for the Raiders. Other sort of notable points here, besides the late bye week, as we talked about early on, the first 2 games on the road against the Carr brothers. Of course, we're going to talk later. The matchup against Derek Carr comes in week 17. Only 2 primetime games this season, one on Black Friday against the Chiefs, and for all of us West Coasters, 10 a.m. kickoffs. Woo, I'm not sure I'm in love with the 10 a.m. kickoffs. I must say that. But maybe that's my only complaint. What do you guys think of kind of these notable points here now that we're week 10 and bye week?
I love the week 10 bye week, especially right after that tough stretch. I couldn't agree more. And then it looks like we're kind of split down the middle.
Scott, you might be frozen again. Jerry, what do you think? How do you like some of these notable schedule?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a good time for the bye week, like Scotty was alluding to there. Tough schedule. I think we have the 4th or 5th, 6th, whatever it may be, top 10 hardest schedule. Definitely good to take the bye week there and let's move. Something about the schedule overall I noticed is, to our benefit, I think the schedule is kind of underwhelming as far as travel, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's kind of, I think it should work out to our benefit since it's such a tough schedule with the teams we play.
Yeah. All right. AR says, Spicy Scotty, Jerry, what's good? What is good to you? Not crying about it, just mentioning it. And it's harder to play, I will say, it's harder to play watch party. You probably know Jerry as well. And I know you're on a little different time schedule. I always get confused with Arizona. It's not so bad. But it is harder to get a watch party going on at 10 a.m., I'm just going to say. Certainly not as hard as 1 or 4 a.m., but that's how I feel when Serena always played in the Australian Open. I was always watching at 1 or 4 a.m., so I do feel your pain a little bit.
Raiders. No, I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, just to your question about watch parties. Yeah, we host watch parties here in Arizona at our at a sports bar in Chandler. But you'd be surprised, those 10 a.m. games, people show up for those mimosas and Bloody Marys and buckets of beer. People show out here in AZ.
All right. I still need to go to AZ, I think, for a watch party. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Nina?
Oh, you didn't even have to ask. Let's go.
OG Raider says, in my opinion, our QBs are better this year. We should have a better year. Well, that's what we all are hoping for. That is definitely sure. Raider Moore says, bye week is great, and 3 of 4 games down the stretch at home. Fact 2 of our away games are in LA is advantage for the Raiders versus other AFC teams with 9 away games. All right, King Savage, we kicked the Bengals. Raiders are back. Hopefully the Raiders are back, baby. Remember, AP had the guys train for that, getting ready for the early start time. I do remember that, actually. I had forgotten, but thank you for reminding us. Because I think in years past, that was a big deal for the Raiders. They had always had issues traveling towards the east and kind of working out these start times. So maybe AP will keep that and implement that into this season as well. All right, after the bye week, of course, we are going into week 11 at the Dolphins. So the Raiders travel to Miami twice in 2 years to face the Dolphins. All right. I say, the rest from week 10 will be welcomed, of course, but will it be enough to travel to Miami to beat the Dolphins? Again, we just talked about this a little bit of traveling. Maybe with the bye week, they'll get out there a little earlier, get used to the heat, the humidity, and the time. I don't know. The Dolphins are one of the fastest teams, though, in the league with Hill and Waddle, which should give the Raiders some issues. I think especially in the secondary, the Raiders are still trying to work out those secondary issues with a lot of the new guys that have come in. So hopefully they'll be up to speed by then.
Uh-oh.
With that said, though, I don't think it'll be enough. I think the
Oh,
Raiders
no.
beat Miami with the loss and having that 5-5.
You
Scotty?
do.
Wow. I think we win this game. We're going to see what our defensive line is really about. They're going to be rested up from that bye week. I understand those guys are fast over there, but I think we're by this time in the season, we've come into our own. I don't think Miami's that good. I think they're Chargers 2.0. It's a bunch of hype and they can't get the job done. I think we come off the bye, we get a win.
All right, maybe a little revenge there for Wilkins as well. Jerry?
Man, so I need to break the streak of me traveling to Raider games, away games, and coming out with losses.
Oh,
Every time I
no.
travel.
Right there with you.
But I think this is the one. I'm going to say we're going to get that W. We got Wilkins
okay.
going back to Miami. I think I break the streak here. Raiders break the streak. And then coming off a bye week, guys, last year, granted that previous head coach had already lost the locker room, and we go out of a bye week and get demolished by the Bears. I think it's going to be different this year. To Scotty's point, let's go to Miami. Let's party. And more importantly, let the Raiders party on that field. Let's go. Let's get that win.
Yeah, and the Raiders have kind of their reputation is to come out of the bye week a little sluggish. So hopefully that does not happen this year. And I'm rooting for you, Jerry. I can't remember the last time I went to an away game that the Raiders won either. So and the ones I'm kind of eyeing, I'm not so confident that's going to change, but we'll see. Week 12 versus the Broncos. The Raiders will extend their winning streak against the Broncos. That's it. That's all I got. As I said earlier, I've dismissed them. Raiders get a win, 6-5. Scotty?
Nothing more to add here.
Scotty gives me a W.
I said it already.
Broncos who?
Yeah,
Broncos
okay,
who?
fair enough.
We all got dubs?
We all got W's. Like I said earlier, though, I hope the Raiders don't dismiss them the way they are, or the way we are, because that's when things can happen. Week 13 at the Chiefs. Okay, well, speaking of sleeping on another team, I don't think the Chiefs will be sleeping on the Raiders this season at home or at all, as they did last season when the Raiders went over there and beat them, spoiling their Christmas, giving us our Christmas gift. The Chiefs went on record to say that they basically just missed the Raiders.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you when that happened. But I think they've learned their lesson. I do not think that the Chiefs are going to let that happen this year. They're going to be at home. This is that Black Friday game. That place is going to be loud. That place is going to be lit. That place is going to be blood orange. I do not see the Raiders coming out of this with a win. I have them losing this game. Scotty?
I think we might take a loss here, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere near embarrassed. I think we're going to play them tough, but I think we're going to take a loss. I have us split this season with them. I have us winning at home versus the Chiefs, but I think we might lose this one in Kansas City.
All right. Jerry?
Yeah, I think we take our first division loss here. We always, not that we always, I think we'll split with the Chiefs this year. They are the Super Bowl champs. You still have to give them their flowers. And again, these prediction shows are so awesome, but at the same time, they're so hard because who knows what our identity is? Have we proven it yet? Is our offense okay Obviously our defense is going to keep us in the games, but it's one of those things. We split with the Chiefs, and this is a loss.
All
Okay.
right. I think we all have them at a loss there.
We
Mama,
do.
thanks for
Mhm.
watching. Great chatter. Heading to breakfast now. Love you, Spike and Mother Moon. We love you too.
Love you too.
For always
Thanks.
being a supporter and for watching us this morning. Unfaced says Dolphins finesse versus Smash Mouth. Coach correctly, the Raiders slow them down to get a result. I hope you are correct. I want to see that. Nothing more. All right. Let's go into it. Week 14 at the Buccaneers. Woo, okay. A lot of these games are back, like you just said, it's hard to predict these things, and a lot of these games can go either way. The Buccaneers were able to maintain their squadron this offseason. They re-signed Baker Mayfield, which he has, this guy has 9 lives, right? And they re-signed Mike Evans. At home, Tampa Bay, let's see. Here's the thing. I think they had I want to say they had a 9-8 record, and they made the playoffs. Obviously, the NFC South is the worst division in their league. So, making the playoffs with that record, does that mean they're an elite team? I mean, I don't know. But I say just because of the travel, I'm going to go ahead and give the Raiders a loss at this one.
Oh.
The Raiders are going to come out of this, unfortunately, 6-7. Scotty?
No way in the world. I think we kill them. I know it's in Tampa. I think the Raiders. Here's the tricky part, because here's where it gets funny. I think the Raiders are looking at that back end of the season as, okay, we can cruise, and that's what you got to watch out for. But I think we're a better team than Tampa, and I think we can go in there and get a W.
All right, Jerry?
Agreed. Let's go in there. Let's handle business and travel and start showing that we can travel back east and get these wins. If we don't improve in away games, especially traveling across country, I mean, we're never going to get where we want to get. And this is a year where, we're not rebuilding. I don't see it that way. Let's go travel and get this win and get out of town.
All right. I mean, I said? I think I just said mine. I'm 6-7. Right
You're 6-7, and Scotty and Jerry are still going strong at 9-4.
Wow.
I know.
4. With how many games left? 1, 2, 3.
4.
No, we have 1, 2, 3 games
4.
left,
Yeah.
and 9-4. Okay. See, week 15 against the Falcons. All right. Woo. The only other primetime game that the Raiders have here, and they host Atlanta. Is this the Monday night? This is the one Monday night game, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other primetime game on Monday night. Listen, I think Antonio Pierce gets his players high energy, high matched. Again, some of these are just such toss-ups to me. You guys seem very confident one way or the other. I think some are very winnable, some are very losable. We're sitting, if we want to talk about quarterbacks, right? We're sitting here still kind of unsure who our starting quarterback is going to be. They have 2 quarterbacks, arguably, right? One of them in which we wanted. So, I don't know.
Spit it out. Win or lose.
I want them to win a lot of games. I just don't see it going that way, unfortunately.
Oh, girl. Okay.
But I think, let's say AP gets them hyped enough to pull this off. Considered an upset as
Yes.
a home underdog.
Do it. So is that a W? I'm going to give it a dub for you.
Scotty?
It's a win. We're gonna wait. Again, I think the fact that second half, we're gonna know our identity by the bye week. That second half is gonna look a little bit juicier to us. We're at home.
Oh, we lost you again, Scotty. Jerry? You're right.
Yeah, to your point, this one is tough. I mean, it's Kirk Cousins. It's the Atlanta Falcons. They have a great running back. They got better at wide receiver. I just think that, it's going to be a roller coaster of a year. They're at home. Allegiant Stadium is going to be rocking. But just for whatever reason, I think Atlanta's going to surprise some people this year, and I think we take a loss here.
Okay.
Okay. Scotty, you got cut off there. What is your prediction for this one?
No, I said we're definitely winning that game.
Winning, yeah. I got you as a dub.
Oh, you had that already.
Yes, I heard him. Thank you. Mhm.
All right, week 16 against the Jags. Woo. You know, the Jags, I feel like the Jags and their quarterback, everybody thinks that are they kind of like the Chargers, where everyone thinks that they should be better than they are? I don't know. They're kind of tough to gauge. Like, are they a good team? Are they not a good team? People seem to like them for I don't know what reason. I don't know. They might be talented. Maybe they're just not consistent. I don't know. I have the Raiders winning this one, so I have them at 7-8 now. Scotty?
Again, how do we lose how did we lose to Chicago like that?
Right.
It seems like it should be a win. But
Yeah.
these are those type of games that are, man, do you go into confident? Again, I still think that back half of the season is going to look nice and big and pretty to us. And again, we're at home. But these are tough games. Yeah.
So, what do we have?
So I think he said
I'm
that
gonna
the
call
Raiders
it.
win. I believe he said the Raiders win.
Okay.
Jerry?
The Las Vegas Raiders defeat the London Jaguars. No question. We should kill them this game.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of what ifs, this and the other. This is definitely a win. And I actually hope Minshew plays this game.
That would be interesting. All right. Chris says a high school football coach beat us as well as a UDFA FCS QB blew us out with that coach. Yeah, there's a lot of variables. I mean, I think I say this kind of a lot. I think some of us have Raiders PTSD because some of these games always seem so winnable to us. Scotty, you just mentioned, for instance, the Chicago game. There's always going to be games like that. And these are and we're coming into towards the end of the season here. We're assuming everybody's still healthy. There's going to be, we could maybe redo this, midway through and see where the team stands as well. So, listen, we don't have any more insight than anybody else, so we're just trying to figure this out.
So I just want to circle back before you move on, please. The Falcons, what was your final decision?
Mine?
Girl, yeah.
Loss.
Oh, a loss. Okay.
So after
Yeah, I got you.
the Jags game, I have the Raiders at 7-8.
Yep.
All right. Week 17 against the Saints. I think everyone has this circled on their calendar for more than one reason. Not only is it in New Orleans, which everyone loves to travel to and party to, I think I would say the Raiders fans probably travel to New Orleans maybe better than any other city, at least from what I've seen. Let's see. Even though this is an away game, I think this is a very winnable game for the Raiders, and I think this is a must-win for the Raiders, not only because of this stretch of the season. This game could actually mean a lot for both teams at this point. I think the Saints finished 9-8 last season, barely missing the playoffs, so they could be right there as well. But this is a must-win for that reason, but I think it's a must-win for the fan base and for the organization. It's kind of like, okay, we cannot let this guy beat us, right? Just win, baby. I have a winning 8-8. Scotty?
I think we can easily go. Not easily. I think we can go in there and win this. The last time we couldn't get past the 50-yard line. The last time we played in New Orleans. I
was there.
Yeah, I was there too. That's got to be something. But the Saints, I don't see them as being a better team than us. I think we can get a win there.
All right.
Win.
Yeah, and of course this is hyped up. I don't see it that way. I mean, the only thing we're gonna have to watch is that make sure that the other number 4, doesn't walk into the wrong locker room at the beginning of the game, right? I mean, he might want to go to that Raider locker room and suit up, but I'm kidding. You guys know I stand by Derek. He was my quarterback. I have nothing bad to say to this point, but still, let's go in there. Let's get this W. Redeem ourselves in New Orleans, and I think, like to Scotty's been saying, it's by this time, end of the season, these games do mean something. Let's rock it out, because by no means are we going to be locked into a playoff spot. If we do, so these games matter, and I think when they matter the most, we'll be rocking. So let's go in there and get this W.
Here's another point on that game. Lattimore, there've been rumors, and I hate rumors, but it's there. that Lattimore is available. We may want to pick him up, and I think that might be a good pickup. Lattimore from the Saints. I think that would be a solid pickup if we got it. Now, if we have him at that point, that might be something. That might be something else cooking up there. But I still think.
All right. Elmatic says, I live in NOLA. We'll be at that game. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Gonna head out to NOLA. Holla at Elmatic. Elmatic, let us know what's going on if you're out there. Or let Raider Nation know.
Maybe we get him on the show and let us know what's happening out there.
All right. Week 18 versus the Chargers. All right. Interesting, right? They start with the Chargers. They end with the Chargers. Hopefully, the Chargers will be eliminated at this point because I think that really for the past several years that the Raiders and the Chargers have always kind of been battling for that number 2-3 position or standing, if you will. So hopefully they'll be eliminated at this point, but the Raiders still have to have their foot on the gas because we are also hoping that the Raiders are still in playoff contention. Oh my gosh, how often do we have to hear in the hunt? I think I have PTSD as well. But I don't know. I think the Chargers and Harbaugh have figured it out by this point.
No.
Yeah, and I think after not only losing to the Raiders in the
Still.
opening week, they're gonna have that 63-point hangover. I think, as Jerry said. And I think they do beat the Raiders.
No.
The Raiders have a loss on this one. Scotty?
See me out on see what? Oh, there we go. I kind of hope you're right that we don't have to need this game, but I kind of like it that we might have to need this game because then you ride that momentum in. I have us going 5-1 with the AFC West, and I think we beat them. We beat them again. This one is at home. I hope it doesn't matter, but I kind of hope it does matter. I think I have us beating them again. I don't think San Diego's better than us.
All right. Jerry?
Yeah, no, I see this. I think it will matter. I mean, the schedule's tough. It's going to matter. Predicting obviously, but it's the Chargers. It's the last game at home. We're going to be rocking. I mean, we're not going to let Herbert get into this game. I mean, what we did to them last time they came into our stadium and proved that Chargers are actually worthless. You guys are front runners at the beginning of the season every year. Yeah, you got a fancy new head coach, but we're going to show you what Raiders football is and what you're going to have to face every year at Allegiant Stadium. We proved it last year at Allegiant. We're just going to show you who we really are and just finish the season strong. And hopefully we're in that, playoff bracket.
All right. I mean, listen, it's hard to score 63 points off any team. It's certainly hard to win any football game, but also, this is assuming everybody's healthy. In that the last time the Raiders played the Chargers, they did not have their starting quarterback in Herbert. So, there's that factor as well. All right. So let's just sum up here, kind of our thoughts. Before we do that, actually, let me go into the chat a little bit and see what everybody has to say. Raider Romeo said it took Harbaugh 10 years in Michigan before he won the college championship. I mean, I'm not sure if that's meant as a knock or not, but I mean, that actually doesn't seem that bad. Travis, yes, we know, 17-0. Got it. Unfazed. Carr will be crushing, on AP at the helm. AP could have fixed Carr. I don't know how to interpret that one. I think he's standing up for Carr, or thinks he should still be on the team with AP as the coach. I'm not sure. But thank you for tuning in and thanks for watching. All right. So let's just kind of recap here. So I have the Raiders ending or finishing the season at 9-8. That means I have the Raiders improving 2 games from last season with a 9-8 record. They were 8-9 last season. To me, that's a good improvement. If that, and some of these games may be flipped. I'm pretty sure I didn't guess right or predict right every single game. But in terms of the record, I think we're right there. Maybe some games could be flipped. And I think improving 2 games is a good improvement. Listen, you prove 2 games for the next couple of years, and then you're right there. But I still think that leaves the Raiders, if they do end up at 9-8, I think that leaves the Raiders outside of the bubble because I really do think, especially in the AFC, it's going to take 10 games minimum to make the playoffs. Of course, that can happen. We will see. I think the games that are really going to matter are going to be the slug match against the Steelers, that upset against the Falcons, and if the Raiders can beat the Chargers twice. And I really think those are the three games for me that kind of make the difference. And if the Raiders are going to really have a good enough record to make that playoff push. Scotty?
Just to piggyback off of what you said, I'm more on the optimistic side than what you said. I think some of those slugfest games, I think we might play with them. Again, I still have us going 5-1 in the AFC West, and I think that's going to be part of getting in the playoffs. I think we have an easier schedule than we've had in the past few years with some of these teams, although some of them are very tough. But I think we have an improved defense. I think we have an improved offense. And the question is going to be, can the quarterback get the ball to the offense, and can the defense hold? I just think we're a better team. I think I have us, Mother Moon, you can correct me, I think I had us at 12 wins.
She had you at 13-4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great 5-week lead though in the beginning though. You're all dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start off pretty strong, and I think we can finish pretty strong. That middle is tough. I love where the bye week is at because of it. I think we're going to be there. We're going to be there.
Jerry?
So Mother Moon, where do you have me at?
She has you at 12-5.
12-5. All right. When
Yep.
12-5, wouldn't that be amazing? I mean,
Yeah. Well, you started off strong too. You had 4 wins.
Right. No, let's just think about previous seasons. I mean, we're always optimistic, right? But we talked about this before on previous show this offseason. It's good to have valid optimism now. Now I have something to stand on. Where in the past, we're optimistic. We were very real about our team, our faults, our lots of faults, and we were really good about our strong points. But this year, I like the optimism. I like that it's valid optimism. Even with the quarterback situation, I'm okay with either or. I'll support either of them. Where before the Carr era, we were always fighting about which quarterback should be under center, So it's valid optimism. What did we say in the offseason, which we still are, but we're at the end of it. If the Raiders could just score 7 to 10 more points a game, we'd be in this bad boy. And I think that our defense is going to keep us in every game. And if we can just score 7 to 10 more points a game, watch out. That 12-5 is very possible. And that's the way I feel. I can't wait. Now that the offseason dust has settled, I'm very optimistic, and it feels good to feel good about it.
Yeah. And to that point as well, maybe they won't need the 7 to 10 points because that's what they needed before with the Raiders defense. The Raiders defense has improved. So maybe they'll only need 3 to 7 now. Maybe. I'm just saying.
Hey.
The Raiders jumped. I mean, their defense has jumped up. So maybe if the defense, they did very well, but if they even do better, that's less points. So maybe it means the Raiders need less points. And now with all of these weapons that they have, it's changed a lot. So we'll see what happens. Scotty, I'm going to push back on your prediction just a little bit because 13-4 is quite the season. I mean, there was only one other team in the Baltimore Ravens who finished 13-4. The closest team after that was the Cowboys at 12-5, the Detroit Lions at 12-5, and the San Francisco 49ers at 12-5. Every other team that made the playoffs was in and around 11-10. So I just don't see the Raiders. In theory, that would make the Raiders the best team in the NFL with the best record if we're kind of basing it off of what was done last season, and I just don't see that happening.
Here's the thing. That's fine, and we don't know. I get that, but here's my comment to it. We've improved on.
Oh no.
All right. Well, Jerry, you're right there with that. You have kind of a response to that because you're right there at 12-5, which kind of takes the Raiders up in that category as well. So, do you really believe, that's a realistic record?
Yeah, thinking about on it right now, absolutely. I mean, basing it off our defense last year, basing it off, can the quarterback get the ball to our weapons this year? We have a stud running back who's eager to prove himself. Definitely, we're going to be in every game. So it could go either way, like we said before.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot.
I mean, 12-5. I think last year's prediction, I was at 11-6. So one game improvement this year off of my not so right prediction last year. Who am I?
Yeah, nobody knows. Not one person. Not even all these analysts on CBS and all of that. I mean, nobody ever gets it right. We're just having fun here. I try to be as realistic as possible. Like I said, I at least hope they improve to 9-8. I hope they can get to 10-7 because I think that's really what they're going to need to make the playoffs. But yeah, it'll be an interesting season. I just hope that they really have that winning momentum going into those last 4 games where all of those games really do matter. I definitely don't want to be in a position where, they're kind of knocked out early.
Yeah. Looks like Raider Travis had a little thought.
Oh, Raider Travis.
I know.
12-5. Okay.
That's a first.
All
Attaboy.
right.
Yeah, right?
Well, he normally says
17.
No, so for him to say 12-5, are you okay with that, Travis? Becca, what's good? Salute to you as well. We appreciate all of you. Remember, if you haven't already, light that torch by hitting that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to Arizona Raider Nation as well. And if you want to join, you can also join and become a member. You can check out our show, Monday Night Madness, myself, Scotty Whitey Raider 1, Monday nights at 6 p.m. We'll be on tomorrow night. You've heard what we had to say today. We want to hear what you have to say tomorrow. This will be your opportunity to appear live on the show. Give us your predictions. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us if you agree with us or if you think we're crazy. Either way. Scotty Waddy and Jerry, I want to thank both of you for being on this morning. Scotty, any final thoughts?
Oh, let's go. Let's ride this into the season, man. I'm excited. I've been excited a couple years now. Let's go, man. I'm ready to get the season started.
All right. Jared, any final thoughts from you?
Absolutely. Like I said, off-season dust is settled. Let's get through the next few months and let's get into training camp and rock it out and just win, baby.
Just win,
Just
baby.
win, baby.
All right, Mother Moon, thank you from behind the scenes for keeping the count.
You're
We've got
welcome.
game by game here, so we can check back in. It looks like a football pool. Check back in and say if we're right or wrong. All right, well, we go out one way
And only one way. Raiders!
All right, thanks.